Oh, this is
Hey, there we are.
woo!
Hello, people of the internet.
Hello, hello. We have some special news today, which is. Shall I tell him? You tell him.
No, yeah, you go for it.
Oh my God, I feel like running around naked, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There you
What?
go. Just to make it a bit more exciting.
Hello.
Hello. This is our last show, live stream of this season, but also of next season and the season after that and the season after that, because this is going to be the last one.
This is it, you guys. This is it. So this better be a good one.
Yes, yeah, we're going to make it good. Yeah. So. Thank you. So yes, we're here for the last time. We've asked around, and again, our colleagues have come up with some gems, I do believe.
I
And
do believe.
I've got a few. I've got a few little bookies in my handy.
Oh, nice.
Do you have any with you or?
I have one physical book, but I have a couple of suggestions that I don't have copies of because I wasn't in the store today and I forgot to bring them yesterday. So here we are.
I had the luck I was there today, but I will look them up as you speak to them.
Yeah, I put them on the highlights. They're on the list.
Yes, I saw that you were up and running, so that's cool.
Yes.
Should we just dive in? You
Yeah,
want to start with
go
one?
for it. Do you want
And
to start?
I'll start. I'll start. I am well. I'll start with the one that's on the top, which is actually my suggestion, and
Nice.
I didn't even write it. Oh, did I write it down? I did write it down. Yes.
Yeah.
Dutch Mountain Trail and Error, and actually got it for the first time last year. It's an English edition because there is a Dutch edition, and it's the Seven Summits. For people who say there's no mountains or no hills in Holland, apparently there are, and you
Yeah,
can go around them.
kind of.
Yes, it's like I'm doing there. So yeah, and right in the bottom, it's a bit of a it's in between like Belgium and Germany, but
Yeah.
there's 100 kilometers of walking that you can go up and down hills and stuff like that. Good Lord, as it shows you on the front there. I mean, don't expect like Mount Everest, but yeah, you can go walking and not walk flat. Get your carbs a bit of energy there. So I suggest that because I thought, hey, it's summer. It's probably a good time as any to go walking. And if you're interested, come pick it up in the shop. Actually, I should send some over to The Hague because I'm not sure that you have any down there.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I don't know either.
No, I shall do that. I'll send a few copies
Okay.
to The Hague. And yeah, I think it's a nicely set out book anyway. It's not too big, so you can actually take
Yeah,
it with you.
exactly. It looks small enough that you can put it in your bag if you go on a hike,
Exactly.
which is
Yeah,
nice.
they've worked it out very well. It's
Yeah.
apparently from the Dutch Mountain Film Festival, which is kind of weird. I don't understand what that
Is
is,
that a thing?
but they kind of know what they're talking about. It looks very very nice. I'll just have a quick flick through.
Yeah.
So there's bits of where you walk, but also information, and yeah, and
It looks very high quality.
€20. Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. It's a good rugged book for rugged walking. Rugged walking.
Yeah. For when you're out there
Yes, exactly.
in the hills of
Of
Limburg. I don't know.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Down the fields there. So go walking this summer. That's my suggestion. I'm
Once
not.
it stops raining, you know.
You can write me an email and tell me how it was when you've gone.
Nice. Yeah.
Think of you. I've actually been down there. Have you been down that area actually? Ever?
I've been there down there a few times when I was a kid, just with my parents, like on vacation when we didn't want to go abroad.
Oh yeah.
Um, Once in winter when there was a lot of snow, it was very beautiful. That was lovely because where I'm from, we don't really get snow because it's salt air. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I've been down there a couple of times, and I do like that area. And just around Maastricht, you have like also I want to say caves. There's a better word for it
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so lots of interesting things around Maastricht. And so for me then seeing these walks, then I think, oh yeah, okay, I could see that actually happening.
Yeah,
Kind of a
cool.
nice area to be in. Anyway, so there you go. That's my first.
Nice. Lovely. All
You,
right, should I do one?
what have you got?
I got one from Lilia, who
Yeah.
is was, I think, the buyer for the romance section in The Hague. I think she gave it to Julia. Anyway, one of the books that Lilia recommends is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall.
And when I saw this, I just want to interject. I thought
Yeah,
I have to say this in a London accent because it just sounds like that. It's like a lady for a duke.
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
That's the way I saw it. Although
yeah.
when you find out what the story is, I hand it back to you.
Right. So Lilia says, I just finished this book and I loved it. What I liked the most is the insight in the head of a trans woman in a time when there was no operation to be had, how she fights for herself and her freedom to be who she really is. I also love the people around her, how they accept not only her, but all that she represents. But most of all, her love interest is a wonderful character, perfectly imperfect and ever loving. It's a lesson in acceptance and understanding in fighting for the freedom to be whoever you are, which I feel like is a particularly like timely message. And it just sounds like a really cool book.
Yeah. So kind of a nice, yeah, modern storytelling, you know.
Yep.
So it's kind of intriguing. But
Yep.
that's in romance, yeah?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So that's what it is. 16 euros paperback. Nice.
Nice.
Do it. Do it. Yeah, in the ABC at the moment in Amsterdam, we're actually having a bit of a swap around of some of the sections. So people who
Right.
come,
Oh God, next time I'm there, I need to refamiliarize myself with where everything is.
yes, it's a bit of a.
Oh no.
I went to look for a romance book for someone was looking for something in now. What is the crime section? It's like what? What
Well,
yeah.
would you like some murder instead?
What's Conan Arthur Doyle doing here? Arthur Conan Doyle doing here? You know, and it's like, oh, I'm in the wrong section. But yeah, so that's something for people to look out for. But it's all on the romance is still on the first floor, so you'll find it
Yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah.
It's been enlarged because people like a lot of it. Why not? Okay, so I shall move on. Oh, yeah, because I asked a couple of the newbies that we've got.
Ah, nice. Yeah,
New people. Matty is one of the new colleagues that we have in Amsterdam, because you've got loads of new colleagues in The Hague as well, I believe. But in Amsterdam, we got Matty, and she chose, being a massive reader, um, she chose A Fine Balance from Rohinton Mystery. Yeah, Mystery. I'm saying it right. Yeah,
Rohinton. What kind of
Rohinton.
name is that?
It's great. It's a great name.
Yeah,
And she didn't realize it was a lady for a long time either with such a name. So we had
yeah,
that. People who you don't know whether they're male or female, or you think that they're one and then they turn out that they're another one. And it's like, does that have a bearing on your experience of the book, which is an interesting one.
yes.
Anyway, she says, one of the most impactful books I've ever read. Not really the easiest read, but so worth it. A story about what the consequences of political changes are on real people, and how little a changing times cares for people.
Mm.
And for some reason, I thought it was like set in London, but it's not. It's set in India after the independence from Britain. So we're talking about the 1930s, 1940s, apparently. But it has lessons for everyone, especially for now. Unforgettable, she says.
So is it fiction or nonfiction?
It's fiction,
Okay.
but based in that
Yeah,
era.
yeah,
I'll show you the. Let me screen share.
yeah. Do it.
Screen. Do it.
Show me the money.
There you go. A Fine Balance. On the mid 70s. Oh, it's a bit later than she thought. Yeah, set in the mid 70s. Okay, it's my youth. Find a subtle and compelling narrative about four unlikely characters who come together in circumstances no one could foreseen. So there you go. Interesting. Not an easy read, but hey, if you're a reader, then you like
Yeah.
some hard stuff as well. Hard stuff on
So that's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that what she's talking about, that it's relevant for today in the turbulent times we're living in at the moment. So
Yeah.
there you go. Fiction. Wrap your eyes around that one. Wrap your eyes
Anyway.
around that one. I love.
Ew. And now for something completely different.
Exactly. From Scotty, the Scottish wormy eye person,
To fairy poems. It's
fairy
not
poems.
that different, really. No, so
Fairy
Emma
poems.
recommends
I like that.
fairy
Sorry.
poems. He's always into like fae stuff. And this is one of those, you know, the Everyman's like the little pocket books,
Oh, right.
Everyman's Library. This is one of those.
Okay.
And she says, I love this because I am so fond of fairy lore. And this collection spans fairy poems from many different decades and authors. I find them very enchanting and inspiring. They have fun chapters like Fairy Mischief and Malevolence or Queer Fairies. Some are whimsical, some are romantic or melancholic. It is perfect as well if you don't have the time or energy to read a whole book.
Okay.
I always like those little collections because sometimes it's nice to like sort of get a taste of everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
many different, like, especially with poetry, like sometimes it just doesn't sort of strike a chord, but if you have a little bit of everything, you can like dip in and out of it and just see what speaks to you. And I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently Emma does too.
Well, 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 well.
Well, well, well. Yeah. And I just those I because I'm the buyer for the poetry section in The Hague, and those little everyman pockets, they're just so cute. They're
Yeah.
just so adorable with all the little like illustrations on the spine and the colors. It's just so nice to have a little row of them.
Yeah. And what you say about dipping in and out, actually, I think it's certainly with I only recently, I was last year, I was on holiday and I took a Leonard Cohen poetry book with me, and I'd had it on my shelf for years, and I began it a bit, and I thought I didn't quite get into it,
Yeah.
but I tried a different way about it, and it's interesting because it's what you're saying is where you dip in. Certain books, story books, you start from the beginning. You can't really dip in the middle. You have to follow the storyline. But with poetry, it is definitely something which, in my brain, it was like click. Oh, you can jump in anywhere.
Yeah, it's a little more free in that respect.
Yeah. I had to, like I said, I had to get into the mode of how it was interesting. Into the mode of how he
Yeah.
writes, but then just flipping through and realizing that I didn't have to go from A to, from the front to the back, and I could start in the middle or something like that. It freed my mind up to be more open to what he was writing and to receive it. And the more I went through it, the more I enjoyed it because of that, actually.
Nice.
So it's
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, yeah, it was a nice.
See, there you go. Poetry is for everybody.
Yeah, you just have to know how to deal with it, I guess. That's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, because it's like, especially now, there's a lot of like sort of insta poetry, like sort of more, I guess, modern, like pop culture poetry. And there's also a lot of people who are shitting on that. And I'm just happy that people like my section now. You know what I mean? Because it's such a like poetry is, I think, one of the more niche sections in a bookstore, but I'm very happy that it's bringing people back to who then might also try other stuff.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
yeah, that's true. It's a funny thing. You don't have necessarily poetry shops, do you? you have
Yeah.
you have record shops, and you have bookshops, and books tend to be all sorts of things, but there's not specifically just poetry. I mean, poetry is something different than just a story book.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's maybe it's being rediscovered. Interesting, because of course my link with pop music, or with both of us musicians, so, and songwriters, and that's to do with when is it poetry, when is it lyrics, that whole
Yeah.
story. And I have my ideas about that, but and some of them can be it's a wavy gray line, and
Yeah.
okay, but when you're actually poetry is definitely something that's in a book, that's to be read, not necessarily out loud. I mean, you don't read books out
I
loud.
find that sometimes it helps. Like sometimes when I'm reading it, it doesn't strike the same chord as when I read it out loud and you hear like the rhythm. And
Mm.
sometimes because like when something rhymes, it's very obvious, but when there's like sort of more subtle linguistic stuff going on, you don't always pick it up until you read it out loud.
Yeah, it sort of invites you, it almost makes you want to read it out loud. That's what
Yeah.
actually it's like. Oh, I really want to say this because this really makes it, it's so that I have that kind of thing. But as you said, you can also have like, huh? And then you read it out loud, you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
So there's a construction which is invisible in a way, which is revealed when you actually physically say it.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you can stand on stage and say poetry, not everybody who writes poetry is very good at reading their own poetry, just like script writers, in a way, that way. They may not be the actor.
Yeah. I feel like it's two very different sort of forms of art. Also because people who write aren't necessarily people who are comfortable being in front of crowds.
Oh, no, exactly. Not at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, in that respect, that's where for me the crossover between singer-songwriters, because I find
Yeah.
singer-songwriters are also people who they're like authors. Authors don't necessarily like to be known, and they were always really more quiet in the background. And because of the internet and social media, they have had to sort of come out of their shell. And I was talking to an author the other month, and she was saying, "Oh, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, I had to do this now because it's part of
No.
the whole thing." And she was with HarperCollins, I believe, and so it's like, yeah, they some new fangled kind of thing they have to do.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
It's not for everybody.
Not for everybody. Okay, so where were we? You did that from MFA.
Yes.
I will then do. Oh, I'll do a Jeroen recommendation.
Ooh.
Say every time that
Those are always quite good. Like he always comes up with books that I would never in a million years like choose myself, but then he says something about it and I'm like, actually, that sounds fascinating.
yeah, and I told him that, and he's done it again. He's recommended this one.
Oh, I sold one of those the other day.
Ah, okay, yeah, it's freshly out.
Yeah.
Um, David van Reybrouck, I believe you say it, is Dutchman. It's been translated. This is the English version. And all my other colleagues also were like, "Oh yeah, that one, yeah. The original that he did was about." I wrote it down. Let me have a look at my notes. Gosh, catch myself up here. Congo, about the Congo, 10 years ago. I wrote a
Oh.
book about the Congo being afgeleid from Belgium, and this is.
Is he, are you sure he's Dutch? Could he be Belgian with this spelling of his name?
Oh, would he be Belgian? Oh, maybe. I assumed it was Dutch because it was a translation, but
I mean, they speak Dutch in Belgium.
it's translated from the Dutch, but that doesn't necessarily say that.
No, yeah, that could be Flemish.
Um,
Doesn't matter. I was just wondering. I will look it up while you
oh,
tell the story about the book.
here we go. Well, he himself is the author of Congo, The Epic History of a People, which won 20 prizes and sold over 500,000 copies. It doesn't say at all.
I'll look it up.
Oh, he is Belgian, right?
Hey,
And based in Brussels, yes. Very good,
thank
young
you.
lady. Very good. I did look at it and go, that's not the way you spell Brook normally. Is that an old-fashioned Dutch way? But it's not.
I
It's
mean, yes, it is, but
oh, as well. Oh, okay.
yes.
So this is quite clearly him doing the same thing, built off the last thing. And what Jeroen was saying that it's the, let's see what he says. New book from the author of the last one, the Congo, based on the decolonization of Indonesia after the World War II. He says it's a masterful mixture of oral history with interviews from people who, 90-year-old people who lived through it, but also the history of the travel at the time and written histories of it as well. And just excellent, he said.
Nice.
He's read the Dutch version because he can. And he was just totally, taken in by it. I think what I got the idea was just like I want to say Jack Russell, not Jack Russell Shorto, who did
Oh, yeah.
and New Amsterdam, and writing about the history of Amsterdam and New York. And he makes it in such a way that it's very inviting. I think Shorto maybe is more sort of colloquial in a way, more open. But and of course, this is a much more of a gritty history.
Yeah.
But I think that he hit the von Reybrouck weaves this history of this story of the history so well that you really get involved in it, and it's a
Nice.
thick piece of
Yeah.
writing. So So yeah, another one from Jeroen, and again I was like, oh, okay. And this is, yeah, getting the there's huge bibliography at the back. I'm looking at this. Oh, half of, yeah, okay, here. Yeah, wow, okay, that's the bibliography.
Holy mother.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it's big, but yeah, von Harari says history at its best, astounding feat of both research and storytelling. That's the thing. It's research, but it's also storytelling. You get involved in the story, not just dryly talking about history. So
yeah,
there you go. Revolution.
nice.
Revolution. I don't know how they'd say it, but anyway, Revolution. Um, Indonesia and the birth of the modern world. Get it. How much?
Cool.
It costs 27 euros.
That's a pretty good price for such a chonker.
It's you get your money's worth with it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the paperback's going to be out for a long while, but probably another year or so. So this is just freshly out. So there you go. That's your room.
Exciting.
Yeah, 3 out of 3, I think, that one.
Nice.
There you go. Tell me, what have you got?
I have something completely different once again from Sophie. It's called The Geometries of Belonging by R.B. Lemberg. Sophie read the Ursula K. Le Guin Prize shortlist this year, and this was one of the books that was on there, which is why she picked it up. And she really loved it. Like, she's been telling me about it, and now I want to read it. It sounds fascinating. So she says, I love it when an author has so completely thought out their imaginary world that I feel like I could live in it. Lemberg's Birdverse is an amazing, deep, complex fantasy world where some people can access personal magic, but many can't. And it's the stories and letters and poems, so it's different sort of formats, included in this collection are all part of this Birdverse, and I was blown away by the style and the fantasy and the touch of humor often included. Each story opened a whole new area of the world to me and new characters fully fleshed out. Magical craftspeople, shape-shifting professors, non-magical folks yearning to be seen as equal. I can't wait to dive into the other Birdverse titles. It sounds fascinating and like unlike anything I've ever sort of heard about.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Changing. I like the idea of the changing styles, as it were.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that pulls
Yeah,
me.
it's something like if you do it well, it can be so fascinating to dive into.
Yeah, yeah. Very special, very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So I ordered myself a copy too. It hasn't come in yet.
But she says in the universe, are there other books also in the same series?
Apparently, I don't think it's like a series, but it's yeah, sort of this universe that this author apparently like writes in.
Oh,
So
yeah, okay. So different books, but in the same universe, as it were.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So if you like that, always more, always more. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued at that one. Geometries of belonging. Okay. And that would be in which section? That's a fantasy section, I guess.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Because yeah, because I was wondering if it would be like young adult, but it's firmly
No, I think it's like
fiction.
adult fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. Okay, so I've got another book from a new colleague.
Nice.
That is Elsa. I keep trying to get this right. Elsa, not Elsa, but no, yeah, else. Ah, oh, it's so hard. Okay, else, and this isn't a new book, but it's. I thought we haven't spoken before, and I thought it's worthy of a good discussion. So, Red Rising, Part 1 of a series from Mr. Brown, Pierce Brown, and I thought Pierce was a kind of an interesting, weird name as well. I mean, you got Pierce Brosnan and other people, but it's
okay.
Like, my name is like what you do with your earrings in your ear, Pierce. So, and Else, think about it. Else says, I'm finishing up the third book in this series literally today, and it is fast-paced, intense science fiction series. Yes! In it, society is divided into different colors, classes, and the low colors, the reds, are not content with being glorified slaves, so they plan to rise up. I'm really enjoying the books. They grip you and do not let you go until you've finished. I've heard the first book being described as Hunger Games in space, but it's so much more than that, although the space part is pretty cool. So it kind of gives you an idea of kind of what it isn't, but then it's not, so it's
yeah.
does that. We definitely have it in the fantasy, science fiction, fantasy section, and not in young adults, which would be where Hunger Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a bit more grown up than that, if I want to say that. Not that that's a negative thing; it's just to put it in a different sort of space.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's 4 or 5 books of them out of my head.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not just a trilogy. Do they have that? No, they don't. They don't. Ah, they don't. Anyway,
We'll
so
never know.
we'll never know. Um, Red Rising. It's
Exciting.
yes, and I kind of like the cover as well.
Yeah. I like that it's quite simple,
Yeah,
like straightforward.
it
I mean,
is.
I haven't read the book. I don't know what the feathers
Uh,
signify, but
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
I should read the book and find out.
Ah, ah, do that now.
Mm,
It doesn't
mm.
look from the front actually almost as if it's like it's not really science fiction-y in a way.
Yeah, it looks very much like sort of like one of those mythology retellings or something.
Yeah, or it could even be like horror in a way sometimes.
Ooh, I mean, there are a lot of black and red books in the horror section, I can tell you that.
Yes, yes, you are the horror lady. Earth is dying. Darrow is a red, a miner in the interior of Mars. His mission is to extract enough precious elements to one day tame the surface of the planet and allow humans to live on it. The Reds are humanity's last hope. Dot dot dot. Go
Oh
read it.
no.
Yes.
I mean, it's funny, like I've seen this book a million times, but I didn't really know what it was about until now. And now I'm thinking, actually, I might enjoy that.
There you go. There you go. It's nice to even for colleagues to inspire other colleagues with things.
Yeah. I
Indeed, we
mean, it
do
happens all
day
the
in and day
time,
out.
but yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's it. I also have seen it for years, and thought,
Right? Yeah. It's
you
just
know,
one of those books that you like you know the cover and like you see it around, you unpack it, you put it on the shelf, and then you just never really think about it until someone's like, "Oh, this is actually really good." And you're like, "What's it about?"
yeah, yeah. Was it? Oh, I should look at this a bit more. Maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
And then you read it, and then you really like it, and you go, why did I wait so often, long
Yeah.
in the years?
It
But
just wasn't the right time yet.
that's it. That's true. Actually, we could talk about books and reading them in the right time at the moment. There's something. I had somebody the other today actually in the shop, and they said, "Yeah, I started this book years ago." He was buying a book. He said, "I started years ago, but then I couldn't get into it." He said, "But now, and then I lost it, and now I want to try it again." And and I've had that also with some books. I think the last train to Lisbon,
Mm.
it's called, and I started it, and it was like 50 pages in. I was like, I'm not getting this, and I left it, and it was like 9 months, a year later, and I picked it up again, and then whoosh, it was like, oh
Nice.
yeah, this is good. I enjoyed this,
Nice.
getting into it. So it's just almost like the book has to be ready, or you have to be ready for the moment to read that book. It's kind of interesting phenomenon.
Yeah. All right. Shall I do mine?
Yes,
Called
birds.
The Brides of High Hill. Can you
Oh, the
see it?
brides. Sorry, I think the birds. Brides of High Hill. Yes.
Yeah. It's part five of a series of novellas. It's called The Singing Hills Cycle.
You
And I
do.
read the first one. Do you remember when it was COVID times and when for the first time, we could get our vaccination? And then
Oh,
you had this like mandatory 15-minute waiting period after you got your shot.
yeah.
You had to like wait until like you were sort of clear to go.
Yeah.
I picked up because I was like, oh, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be sitting there for 15 minutes. Better bring a book.
Hmm.
So that's why I started the first one in this series because I was like, I don't want to bring like a big, heavy book. And these are all novellas, so they're really thin. So that's when I started it, which was a very strange place to start a book. But I really enjoyed it. And I have read and loved all the other parts since then. And this one has just come out. It's very, very new. So as soon as it came in, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take that home with me. And it's really good. This one is a little bit more sort of a little bit more dark, a little bit more sinister, and a little bit more sort of plot twisty than the others have been, although some of them, I don't know.
Mm.
They're all sort of similar. They have a similar like vibe and they all have a lot of heart, but they're also very much all their own story. You can definitely read them like separately.
Yeah.
And I think the first one was still my favorite, also just because it was the first one and it like introduced me to this world. But this one's really good. It's really cool.
Really good.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
Also, if you like me, like novellas, this is a great series because there's 5 of them.
There you go. Oh, again, in science fiction fantasy, I think.
Yes, yeah, fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. So grab your copy, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come and get it.
yeah, funny these novellas. I was just helping a lady with Wells, the
Yeah, Murderbot.
Murderbot, yeah, and they're also the same exact. It's like
Yeah,
hardbacks. They're actually bloody expensive as well.
they are. Yeah, that's it. It's
You know?
I. It's a shame that they don't all come out in paperback as well.
Yeah, but I know apparently I don't know, would it not be worth it? It's strange, but it seems to be a thing. But
Yeah,
you said they're very very collectible. They're very nice to have and shop
yeah,
for them, and they do stand nice in your cust in your
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and these are all just so very pretty. They all have, I don't know how well you can see, but they all have these really cool illustrations on the front. It's just so nice.
Nice to have, very
Yeah.
nice. I like this. It's very nice. I think we have come to the end of our Rambo.
Oh my God, have we?
I have nothing else. I've done all the books, and I think have you done your books? I think you have.
I've done my books. We've done all the books. There
You've
are.
flashed through, yes. It's just the way it goes. It's
Yeah.
it's been a flash in the pan. It's been a flashy flash, yes,
Hit and run.
in the whippy tail. Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll do the last two, like I told you about. I was on holiday,
Oh yeah.
so I read those two. Now we've talked about that one before
Yeah.
it's an ABC favorite. It's I can see why. It's nice, easy reading, very well read, nice read, well written, and just the twists. And it's light and but it also brought a tear to my eye, and it's so emotional and things like that. So that's good. And I'm intrigued about the other ones now. So that was good.
Yeah, because there's like 4 or 5 at this point,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, yeah. He's I don't know how good they are, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
Then I also tried this one, and Simon Sinek is known for, as it says there, start with why at the top there. That's his big one that I think is a favorite from us or has been a favorite of ours.
I think it has been. I don't think it is anymore.
No, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, leaders eat last, and why some teams pull together and others don't, and so that's kind of interesting to see what it is. Talking about trust in groups, actually, but I find it in this book I'm doing that stripy thing, which I
Ooh, okay.
yeah, it's like not everybody does that, and I
Yeah.
years I was like, oh, you can't do that in a book, but like now I thought I'm going to do that with this book because I feel it. You know, it's like, oh, it says this, and that went ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So just like
Nice. Yeah.
you must know your people and realize that they are much more than just an expendable resource. Just sounds, bits that tingling. So there you go. That's my recommendation
Nice.
for reading. Two totally
There we
different.
go.
And with that, I think with this, we are going to call it a day.
No.
No, let's carry on.
Let's just not go offline.
No,
Do we should probably say thank you to the people who've been watching us for like 4 years now doing this.
indeed.
Cheers. It's just water. It's very boring, but
It's okay. This is coffee, so
yeah.
nothing thing. Indeed, I'm glad. I hope that people have enjoyed and taken away some good ideas. Thanks to our colleagues who've given all of these informations. It's been really great. And
If nothing else, I have taken away some good recommendations.
there you go. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Opens up that world of
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
books, so much
Yeah.
information. But the joy of how people have put it into words in such a way that it opens up your mind to things and
Yeah.
takes you to the place.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But the ABC isn't going anywhere. The American Book Association.
No, you can still just walk into the store and be like, hey, I need a recommendation. What you got?
Yeah. Do it. Ask us. We like that.
You would not be the first to come up to us in that way. So
we enjoy giving our opinions about things.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think are there just any events that are going on? Well, we've got like the open mic night for the last open mic night actually next week Friday. That's also
Oh my God.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So if people want to come along and or online, we'll be doing that for the last time. And
And we'll be going to Dutch Comic Con next month.
yeah, in
We'll be
June.
at the Next Web as well.
Yeah, that's happening around the same time.
Yeah. Those are like the big ones that are coming up.
That's right. And in July, there's a couple of events we're doing too. But you'll find all these events on our web page, on the ABC
Yes.
event page.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. Follow us on social media to stay up to date.
Yes, because you're the Twitter lady, aren't you? You do.
I am the Twitter lady. It's called X now, Luke.
No, but X lady sounds.
I know. It's the worst.
Yeah, it's just like Twitter lady sounds better.
Yeah.
And also X is Elon Musk, and I think he's a twat. So he's a X.
There's books about that too.
Yes, we want to know how it is. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, X,
Facebook, TikTok,
TikTok ladies. Yeah, you'll find us. If you've got any ideas, let us know. Write to info@abc.nl or come and see us and say hi.
Yep, sounds good.
I'm so sad.
All right.
All right, we're going to press the end button. And
yeah, it's been real, you guys.
Yeah.
Real weird.
Can I do that? I can't do that. That's probably not even in fashion. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Anyway, till sometime in the shop.
Yes.